A hot stinging pain, growing keener, then fading away, then growing keener again, flooding into an agonised throb of the brain, told Johnny that the old ulcer that had nearly healed had given place to a new one, and that he was, once again, in for many hours of agony. This is the school. This is the result of going to school, he thought. When his eyes got better, he couldn't resist the temptation of straining them to see what the teacher was writing on the blackboard. Nor could he keep from peering into the books used in the class to see the pictures, or to try to follow what the teacher was talking about. And this was the result of it all. Many nights of twisting about in bed, and every minute of it streaked with pain. The cursed God on every school that was ever built, and every teacher that was ever born. The way they maddened him, the way they talked about it. Hoity-toity, haughty, holy, holy hunter with his God is behind all pain. And he will help every brave and patient little one to bear it. And sly and sleeky slogan, chiming in after holy hunter with his, it would be a very bad thing for children if they could go through their young years entirely free from pain. That if they could, there'd be no standing them. And that, although they didn't quite know what it was, there was a purpose of some kind or another behind everything that anybody suffered. And old haughty, hoity-toity, holy hunter going one better, saying that God sent suffering to try us, and that if we bore them as we should bear them, uncomplaining, we'd come out of them like refined gold that had stood the test of fire, and would surely shine in the sight of all the angels of heaven, who wouldn't know how to feel pain even if they tried, and who'd have a fine laugh if they could only see a chance. Haughty, hoity-toity, holy hunter and sly and sleeky slogan, squirming about on their bellies with the pain that's shooting through me eyeballs now. He called and called out to his mother as he tossed about in the bed, and when she heard him, she came quickly to his side. It's at me again, mother, he said. It's at me again. And turning on his belly, he tried to thrust his head down deep into the hard and lumpy bolster that gave his head a little lift from the level. Maybe you're only imagining it, she said softly. Imagining it, he echoed. I tell you I'm not imagining it, he shouted. Shows all you care about it, he added. We'll go to the hospital, and the drops will make you all right once more. She soaked rags in water and tied them round his temples until they grew hot with the heat of the pain, then took them off and soaked them in cold water again and bound them round his temples. You'll have to try to go asleep, Johnny, she said in a strained voice, for I have to be up at 5 to get Archie's breakfast before he goes to work. That's all you care, he moaned. That's all you care about the pain. On she kept, removing, soaking, binding, till he lay quiet in a troubled sleep. Then she sank down beside him, dozed off, ready to hear when a sleepy moan would tell her he had wakened and that the pain was sharp again. The morning's light crept in through the window, shone into her barely closed eyes, and she woke, stiff, anxious and tired. She strained her eyes towards the old alarm clock and saw that it was moving towards 5 in the morning. Stiff and tired, she got up from the bed where Johnny lay stretched, lighted the fire, put the kettle on, and sat down to wait for it to boil. When the kettle began to sing, she woke up Archie. Then when it boiled, she made the tea, poured out a cup for herself and drank it in thoughtful sips. It looked as if her last kid would go blind. Curious. The doctors wouldn't tell her what it was wrong. If she'd a couple of guineas to give them, they'd tell her quick enough. Hurry into the hospital, let the drops trickle into his eyes, and then hurry out again. That was the ritual. Though what good it would do her or him to know what was wrong, God only knew. She looked at the picture of Queen Victoria with the little crown on her grey head and the white veil falling over her neck and down her bare shoulders. Enough jewels in our little crown to keep them all for the rest of their lives, but a little left over for the poor. Crown of jewels, crown of thorns, and our own boy with a crown of soaking wet rags to deaden the pain in his temples. Give your boy the best of nourishment: broth, porridge, milk, butter and eggs. A few flowers, I suppose. If there was anything left over, well, it was easy for the doctors to order things when they hadn't to pay for them.